But for the Tigers, it's been 11 long years. And here they are trying to break that little spell. I've got the lineups here for you. Woodville Senators, Wilson Lee will lead off at left field. Dylan Child will play first base. Vinny Fayard will play third base. Gary Owens at centre field. Troy Wienert will catch. Dan Turner, shortstop. Benny Lodge at right field. James Henty, DHs. He's the coach, the manager of this team. Troy Nicholson, the youngster, will play second base. And Josh Tolles will take the mound for the Senators. And for the Tigers, Wes Roma, the Caps medalist, will lead off playing right field. Dale Zersh at third base. Evan LeBlanc, centre field. Bo Bishop will catch. Connor O'Gorman, second base. Corey Lyon, shortstop. Craig Handy, first base. Chris Lawson will DH. Andrew Coleman will play left field. And Hayden McGarry will pitch for the Tigers. And what a year he has had, that lefty, the big lanky lefty. 10-0 record, quite sensational for Hayden McGarry. He's had 2 starts in the final series. He's taken game 1 on both of them, and he's won them. You're doing an absolutely splendid job, and that matchup in itself, Tolles versus McGarry tonight, will be very, very interesting. As per usual here at Arctic Park, the wind is just blowing in, and it's going to be a really tough night for hitters. If you could get the ball 2/3 to the fence, I think you're doing a fantastic job tonight. It's going to be really hard going for the hitters. Going to have to be very disciplined. Just be looking to punch the ball up the middle right side for base hits all night. Otherwise, the ball will just pop to the air, and we won't be having a great deal of luck on the hitting stakes. Looks like Ian Revel will be behind the dish. Blake Halligan will help him. Paul Haynes. And it looks like Payne Souter is part of the group here tonight as well. So they're having their plate meeting as we speak. James Henty, Chris Lawson doing a job, good job. Chris has probably been in charge for about 3 years now, I reckon. And they've always been around the mark, the Tigers. They're quite an incredible group. As our producer just wanted to join the party, which is fair enough. So it's going to be a very interesting affair, as we said. Woodville with a lucky loser in this year's competition in the way that they finished 4th and they advanced on the first round after 1, 2, 3 all won. So they were the lucky loser, and in they go against the top team, Port Adelaide, last week, who were pretty stacked themselves, but they got the job done. They got some fabulous arms in this Woodville side. It's a real credit to them, and they're all Aussies, they're all young homegrown boys. Josh Tolles, Jackson Lodge, Wilson Lee, sure being a bit of a Territorian, but he's been at Woodville for a long, long time. And of course with some other names like Benny Lodge, Dylan Child, who went there as a youngster. And to see Troy Nicholson in the lineup is just really special. I love to see it, not just resorting back to experience to try to think you might be better off to give your kids who you've been trying and working with the opportunity to play finals baseball. So we are not far away from things here, folks. Going to be a long, old, slow night with just me here to suit you, so I'm sorry about that. No assistance. No effects, Mike. I'll try to stay off as much as I can and just let you watch the ball game again. We're on a bit of a tight run here tonight. Not everyone here in the team. Just trying to present this to you, do the best job we can. We've got our outfield camera going. 2 cameras that will follow the play, one fairly close in and one from a wider angle. As Glenelg will be the home team today, finishing top. They hit second. The Senators with Lee, Child, Fayard, Owens, Wienert, Turner, Lodge, Henty, Nicholson. A fantastic lineup, and Wes Roma with Zersh, LeBlanc, Bishop and O'Gorman, both New Zealanders in this lineup, playing as sort of naturalised Australians. Corey Lyon, the Queensland boy, been working a lot with the bite, playing shortstop, stiffens him up. Craig Handy, and then Chris Lawson and old Andrew Coleman right down the bottom there. Guy who cut his teeth at the Red Sox and ended up marrying a daughter of the days who very strong bay people. So he slowly gravitated over to the bay. And here he is in a grand final for him. Apart from the wind, the conditions are fairly nice. Had a lot of rain overnight and it's done absolute wonders to the diamond. All of the cutout areas, which for most of the South Australians here, all sort of with grass infields, it's a little bit different and it takes some getting used to. So it's good that these guys have got a 3-game set here. Could be over in a couple, or it might go the distance. 6 o'clock tomorrow night, Saturday night. We might be a little bit late on air. And then if it goes to game 3, it'll be 2 o'clock on Sunday. So we are just about hot to trot. Wilson Lee will lead things off for the Senators. So a pretty good crowd. She said it's a very, very cold old night. So if you're planning on coming down, bring the quilt. There's ball 1. So just fantastic to be here, and at Shane Bennett Field there's the first base dugout is named after Andrew Scott, of course a Hall of Famer, and again just an absolute legend of the game here in Australia. And sorry, that's the third base bench, and the first base bench is named after Luke Prokopec, a Riverland boy who came down to play ball in Adelaide and ended up pitching for the LA Dodgers as McGarry gets one over. 3-1. Again with a change up and rope to centre field, but LeBlanc on it. Wilson Lee was incredible last weekend against Port Adelaide. He got some solid pitching. Hit a couple of home runs, one an absolute monster. And that's his style. Straight into it, squaring it up, driving it up the middle. So McGarry leaves it up. Ball 1. Up and out for ball 2. Again, just tries to slide one in, but misses a little up and in, so a 3-0 count. And again, like he did last time, comes from behind, gets one over. That's probably the difference with him. That little bit of growth and maturity, and that ball's also flying into centre right field, but Wes Roma comes in and takes the catch. 2 out. It's a good approach by the Woodville hitters here, knowing the field, letting the ball travel and driving opposite field, which is really going to be the money spot tonight for it to land in. Vinny Fayard, who's a little bit down on his abilities of last week, but he's got one off the middle and he's flying it deep out to right field, but again taken by Roma. That retires the Senators as we complete the top of the first. We'll have a short break. We'll see you back here in a flash.
SA Power Networks employs more than 2,000 South Australians and delivers electricity to around 840,000 customers. We don't make electricity, and we don't sell it either. What we do is deliver electricity to your home. From the Rundle Lantern to our airport, hospitals, schools and traffic lights, power is vital to the function of our state. That's why our team is on call 24/7, rain, hail or shine, to respond to any emergency. Plus, we're taking the initiative to ensure that everyone can access information about their power supply however and wherever they like. We also foster vital connections through more than a dozen community sponsorships. At SA Power Networks, we're working with you to deliver the power you need, now and in the future.
So welcome back, everyone. Bottom of the first. And what a pleasure it is to sit here and again be able to feast on the pitching of Josh Tolles. Just was superb for the Adelaide Bite the last couple of years, doing all sorts of things. Setting up, middle relieving, till he was called on mid-season to take a starting role, and absolutely sensational. And he's been brilliant in this final series. 2 starts. I think they've scored 3 or 4 runs off of him total. Just been rock solid. He's a pleasure to watch. So he's got a good hitter on his hands here in Wes Roma, who came to the country to pitch for the Tigers, and as is normally the case, they give him the bat one night and say, here, have a swing, and he can more than swing it, and he chops one up the middle. Nicholson comes in, going to have to spin and get rid of, and he does. They fire Roma out, 4-3. So the skipper of the Tigers, Dale Zersh, brother Jay, who went to college in the States, and father David, who represented Australia and was again one of the best left-hand pitchers going around in the 70s here in Adelaide. So a son of a gun. One and one. And that ball's driven up the middle again, and beautifully Nicholson ditto takes it, fires it. The youngster makes 2 backhand plays up the middle, and again great. Love the approach from all of the hitters tonight, just waiting for the ball, realising the difficulty to hit at this park. Trying to get the ball up the middle, but Nicholson again equal to the task. 2 4-3s, 2 out. Evan LeBlanc. Spent a bit of time here in Australia. Was first brought out by the Red Sox, East Torrens. And he cracks one into left field, and he gets it past Lee. Rounds 1 and takes 2. Stand up double, Evan LeBlanc. Centre left alley. Outfielders playing in, as you would expect. It's going to be a hard job to get one over their head tonight, but not when you square them up and drive them in an alley. LeBlanc gets a double. First man in scoring tonight. Ball gets past him, so LeBlanc moves to 3. Hard fastball in the dirt and not able to be handled by Wiener. Great reward for Ian Revel on a fantastic year in the ABL. He really did stand tall as an umpire, and no pun for the little Rev. As Toles he misses down and in. 2-0. So Bishop, who was also, I think, signed by the Dodgers, maybe, gets a pitch up and out and chops it right into the soft spot of the inner leg of Wiener. Yes, right in the spot no one likes to be hit, certainly a male, as you can see. So now we're 2 out, runner on third. Toll sits. There's a hard hit ball and he's found the gap, so the Bays are on the board. LeBlanc, if we captured that, fell flat in his face halfway down the line, tripped over his own shadow. First run on the board. Base hit, RBI single for Bo Bishop. Connor O'Gorman represented New Zealand in the World Baseball Classic just recently and did okay. Had a breakout year. He's still only a young man, O'Gorman, so a long way to go for him, but did a really good job for the bite as he goes right side and he stretches Nicholson and he can't get there, so he finds that 3-4 hole for a base hit. And the Bays just knocking the ball around. All within themselves and not trying to overpower the ball. And here's Corey Lyon. He's had a year that every young baseballer has to go through to really know the ups and the downs and the ins and the outs. It's been a tough one for him, and probably in the best form he's been in all year. Hit a home run last weekend. Had a crucial time. He's a quality shortstop. And Tolles knows it. You've got to stay out of his swing zone, and he goes to the plate and he goes straight in the swing zone and he smashes it to right field. Bishop will be held. Bases loaded. 4 consecutive hits for the Bays. So you know you're doing all right when Handy's hitting in the 7 hole. He's a streaky hitter. And you've got a great opportunity right here, right now. Loaded bases, 1 on the board already. 2 out. It's a big 2-out rally here. Swing and a miss. Good breaking pitch by Tolles. As he sets and he goes to the plate again, and good swing right on it. Fast ball. Sometimes you think pitching with the wind would be easier, and especially tonight you could get carried away with yourself and really think your velocity might do the job, but it takes a bit of adjustment too. Tolles just leaving the ball up a little bit, and he gets a good sinking fastball there. Evens it up. Sorry, 2-1, 2-0 count. 0-2 even. Again, Tolls. Breaking pitch, but didn't want anywhere near the strike zone, and he got the desired effect, nearly threw it over the top of Weiner. So even such an accomplished pitcher as Josh Tolls, with such great command of 3 or 4 or 5 pitches at various arm slots, is just struggling to dial in. It's a big moment. 2 out, so everyone will be giddy up. And he's got to get the ball into play somewhere. Again, Tolls. There he goes. He cracks one. Lodge turns and goes back and takes the catch. But a nice piece of hitting by all the Bay hitters. They did a good job. They built and they worked and they got their run. And that's what they lead at 1-0. We'll move to the top of the second. We'll see you back here in a moment.
We might not be the biggest, but in the things that really matter, we're bigger than most. Because bigger means helping a business get off the ground, or giving a young person a go. It's supporting a community and all the people in it. It's helping a family set up a home. We're bigger in cities and small towns, and at making big dreams come true. We could just care about money, and we could treat banking as nothing more than numbers and interest rates. But we're bigger than that. Bendigo Bank, bigger than a bank.
As we reset, Gary comes inside. 0-1. So lefty wheels around again. Comes inside, but misses 1-1. What a great tribute it was to Shane Bennett to have this purpose-built facility named after him, Bennett Field. What can I tell you about Shane Bennett? He's a pretty decent sort of bloke for a start, but interesting story. He was on a football path. He was recruited by Collingwood as a youngster and went over to Melbourne for a pre-season and got talking with the guy who was over here, obviously as a baseball scout or in the scene somewhere, and talked him into giving that up, and as he gets his second strike over. So he went to college in the States and got signed out of college by the Boston Red Sox. So there's a chopper to the infield line, waits, takes, fires and gets him. So signed by the Red Sox. Never played a game for the Red Sox. Was traded to Montreal Expos, where he played 3 or 4 years. Came back and Still played for Team Australia for a fair while and unfortunately just had a bad back. So 3 or 4 operations later, he's now a partner in a big fire service, Australian Fire Services here in Adelaide, where they do some major as a strikeout to Troy Weiner. 2 out. So Daniel Turner, who cut his teeth at the Sturt Saints, been over at Woodville for a few years now. Just a great young man, and there's a pop-up, wants to land, but LeBlanc will come in behind. There's a good outfielder should, and in shallow outfield takes the catch. Retires the Senators. The Bays lead 1-0 as we will go to the bottom of the second. See you in a sec. So welcome back. Bottom of the second. Tigers leading at 1-0. Down to the coach, Chris Lawson. Two won the count. Tolls cracked it. Shortstop. Turner comes in, gathers. Knows he hadn't got a fast runner, so he flips it over. Six to 3. Great young shortstop, Daniel Turner. Another indication of that size doesn't always tell a story. He's quite a stocky boy, not hugely tall. Got sweet hands and just great presence. He's been right up there in Caps medal voting for a few years. That ball flowing foul. And Andy Qualman in the batter's box. Normally no guessing on what he's like, and he rolls over on one. Fayard gathers, gets it to Childs, who had to come off to get it and make the tag, and he completes it. 5 to 3. Good job by Childy. Another quality baseballer. Was out with the bite for a fair while. Did a bit of catching. Spent some time in the States. Really good in Roma. Tried to bunt his way on, and he got a pitch that just followed him in. Foul ball. Again, he just jams him, and that ball wants to land. Lodge flies after it, but another foul ball. 0-2. They span back through. Bays have taken, obviously, the right field line as their team's on the first base dugout. And all the Senators are going up the left field line. With a bit of a spread through the grandstand, so for a good local game of baseball. Excellent crowd on a Friday night in Adelaide. Tolls goes in and misses. 1-2. Breaking pitch, just froze Roma and got him. Not happy with the call. Tell him when you're walking. So we'll take a short break again after we watch this great 1-ball, 2-strike pitch from Josh Tolls. Perhaps every reason to think he was a little bit stiff. We'll take a short break. We'll see you back here in a moment.
Hey, brother, there's an endless road to rediscover. Oh, the sky comes falling down. There's nothing in this world I wouldn't do. What if I'm far from home? Oh, brother, I will hear you call. There's nothing in this world I wouldn't do.
Only when you buy yourself, mate.
The Evo Speed by Puma, exclusive to Revo.
So just like Corey Lyon, Benny Lodge has had a real battle in the ABL this year. It's been a test for the young man. No one likes to, not live up to their own expectations, and it's been a really tough year for Benny, but hopefully a little bit of a stepping stone and another lesson learned. Adelaide might need him. Quality outfielder, genuine team hitter and team man, and he foul ball. Got a good sprinkling of ex sort of ABL players here in Wilson Lee, current Dylan Child ex. Gary Owens has flirted around with the bite but not really got a run. Benny Lodge, Josh Tolls. And going through the lineup for the bite, going for Glenelg with Bo Bishop and Connor O'Gorman, and there's a ball driven up the middle. Benny Lodge, base hit. He'll be happy with that. Good hitting again. It's probably your prototype swing on a night like tonight, just letting it travel, driving it back up there, centre right. James Henty, only a young man, looking to skipper the Senators to their first flag since 1980, perhaps. Been a tough old gig for the Woodville Senators. Went through an incredible purple patch in that sort of period of time, only getting the one flag, but had about 7 Australian players playing for him at one stage, with John Galloway there and Masters and Zersh. And there's a ball up the middle, possible double play. Lyon just does it himself. So a nice 2-ball there from McGarry. Kept it down. Breaking pitch, beautifully located. And just picture perfect for an infielder, especially possible double play, camping up the middle. Put out 6-3, 2 out. Donnie Masters was there. Mark Peters, of course, who's just held in such high esteem here in Australia. Really was an amazing time. Gary Coward. As McGarry misses up. Ball 1. Nothing better than a young man to get a couple of plays early in the field and make them. It certainly settles you down, and again a good sinking fastball from McGarry, swung over the top of. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And again, he then gives him some high cheese and duly swung at by Nicholson. He strikes out. So McGarry again on top as we complete a couple. We'll see you back here, top 3, real soon.
SA Power Networks employs more than 2,000 South Australians and delivers electricity to around 840,000 customers. We don't make electricity, and we don't sell it either. What we do is deliver electricity to your home. From the Rundle Lantern to our airport, hospitals, schools and traffic lights, power is vital to the function of our state. That's why our team is on call 24/7, rain, hail or shine, to respond to any emergency. Plus, we're taking the initiative to ensure that everyone can access information about their power supply however and wherever they like. We also foster vital connections through more than a dozen community sponsorships. At SA Power Networks, we're working with you to deliver the power you need, now and in the future.
So welcome back. It's going to be a real loose old night at the office here, so strap in. Hope you enjoy the vision. Dale Zersh. Tolls. Misses down and Zersh leads off. Gets on board via a base on balls. And the 3, 4, 5, 6 all went bang, 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 bang in the last dig. Scored the run. Handy was right behind him and smacked one out to right field, but didn't quite get it done. Nice catch out there by Lodge, which quelled a pretty big dig, and LeBlanc sort of squares around as if he might bunt, but he's ended up popping it up. And again, going to be a tough ball, but Lodge just superb. Had a lot of ground to cover. He's a terrific athlete and ended up catching it really just 8 to 10 metres behind second base, but as it worked out, it was his catch and he took it. Pop fly 9, Evan LeBlanc. Tolles just misses down. Fastball. 1-0. And the glow balls are being thrown out in the grandstands just like a bunch of seagulls. Swing and a miss. Beautifully located pitch by Tolles. Came in. 1-1. Sorry. 2-1. So Azur still on first. Not a running threat. And that's a chopper to the infield. Going to be a tough one. Fayard's going to have to get rid of it, and he can't. So that ball goes loose. Zersh around to third. Bishop arrived safely. Fayard couldn't quite get a good enough throwaway. Put a lot of pressure on Child, especially as he was along that first baseline, exactly where the runner was travelling. And that, with the big Bo Bishop coming through, was all that it took. Runners in the corners, 1 out. And another great opportunity here for the engine room of the Tiger hitting lineup. O'Gorman, Lyon gets a breaking pitch in. He takes it. Tolles to the plate again, and he comes in. So knows Connor pretty well. Teammates. Certainly got a good idea of his strengths and weaknesses. And Connor does, probably like most hitters, like to get those hands out at it a bit, and he's just trying to keep him as tight as possible. He goes to the plate again and gets a called strike. 1-2. Tolles, he sends one over for the first time tonight, just to break the rhythm a little bit. Wouldn't think that Bishop is a mover, but he steps off again. Doesn't Bennett Field just look fantastic from the outfield camera? Something about a brick wall was the little facade behind a diamond. It just looks absolutely superb. Bit of signage probably wouldn't go astray, but that's how it goes. And that ball swung at by O'Gorman. Runner on first. Auto out. 2 out. So now with 2 out, Bays might be a little bit more eager to try to push something if they get a chance. So Wienert goes out and gives his first and third instructions to his defence. Corey Lyon, single 9, first AB. Hit it hard out there and goes first pitch and knocks it down the third baseline. That scores Zersh. That's gone into the deepest, darkest hole. Bishop will swing around. He'll score 2. That's 3 on the board for the Tigers. 2 RBI stand-up double. Corey Lyon. Straight down the line. Apart from putting it over the fence, probably one of the greatest spots, either left or right, that you can find on a diamond with runners on. And the Tigers go to a 3-0 lead very early. Game 1 of this 3-game series, grand final here, Baseball SA. Tigers and the Senators. Tolles again. Breaking pitch in. Misses. It's a big hit by Corey Lyon there. On a night when you think run production is going to have to be really earned and you've got to work hard for it. Handy calls time and granted. Again, Tolles. There's a ground ball. Turner is up the middle. Lyon's going to be swung around. He's going to score. That goes to the backstop. Handy swings around. He keeps going. Third base his destination, and he stands there. So a classic bit of team baseball there by the Tigers. Corey Lyon, a real threat on base, and Turner knew it, so he had to sit right behind him up the middle. The ball was not hard hit, but it had eyes, and it wanted to push its way through the infield, and it did. And Lyon was just wound up and had no other desire but to score. And with that pressure, Craig Handy also being strong and aggressive on the base as the ball went to the backstop. He fires his way to third. 4th on the board for the Bays. High sensitive area here tonight. Poor old people around me just can't say a word and they're bubbling to talk. So Tolles gets that drop down slider across. Strike 1. You're going to have to be pretty good now. Senators are going to have to mount something and show it. It's only early days, but a 4 spot on the board is a good place to be, especially when you got Matty Williams lurking in the pen. As again, Lawson slides into that one, foul ball. But they'd be really hoping that McGarry can take them deep into this game, get them into the deep 7 or 8, and they could chuck it over to Williams, but Lawson strikes out. But the Tigers put 3 on the board in the bottom of the 3rd. They take a 4-0 lead. And they are looking the goods at the early stage of this Game 1 final. See you back here in a flash.
We might not be the biggest, but in the things that really matter, we're bigger than most. Because bigger means helping a business get off the ground. or giving a young person a go. It's supporting a community and all the people in it. It's helping a family set up a home. We're bigger in cities and small towns, and at making big dreams come true. We could just care about money, and we could treat banking as nothing more than numbers and interest rates. But we're bigger than that. Bendigo Bank, bigger than a bank.
So back to the top of the lineup for the Senators. They're chasing 4. They got the lineup to do it. Again, there's been a lot of questioning about Hayden McGarry, regardless of his record, 10-0 and 2 finals wins, and people still think that they were a bit unlucky and they could have got to him. But you know what? Sometimes pitchers just always have some answers. Woodville are going to have to dig deep and find something. Put a couple of runs on the board. McGarry winds and goes to the plate, gets a chopper, second base. O'Gorman gathers and gets it across to Handy. Routine 4-3. Again, the young lefty looked like a straight change. Got him out in front. Some beautiful camera work and production. Just a wonderful look. Dylan Child takes a pitch. Ball 1. This field has really come up a treat. It's still a very young field in the big picture. It still would barely be 12 months old. So for the grass to really knit and fill out, still doing that, but overall the ground itself is shaping up beautifully. And look, the fact that it's a seaside ground, it's always been a windy little place all along this coastline where Southern Districts, Glenelg, West Torrens, Henley and Grange, Woodville, Port Adelaide, all seaside grounds, and all suffer with the wind and sun. Softball's also played here. There's Diamond 1 and Diamond 2 for them. So it's a joint venture between baseball and softball. And again, that's a relationship that is growing and developing and building too. McGarry misses down. McGarry looks at first and gets one over. One of the greatest assets of a lefty. As again he sets and goes to the plate. This time he slides it across. Freezes Fayard. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Again he uses the slider and they go for the double play with some good heads up ball, but Child was up to it, but Fayard strikes out. Got the tail up at the moment, the Tigers. They're look very free and very open-minded and very focused on what they're trying to do. They're the aggressors right at the moment, and this guy's an amazing guy to watch, and his hitting statistics this year were incredible and would normally win you a few prizes, offensive prizes, but there was a guy called Riley Moore here who played for Port Adelaide, and he was absolutely outstanding. Got the Triple Crown, 48 RBIs. I think he exceeded the best record previously by 10 plus. Had 12 home runs and hitting somewhere like 470 as an average. Outstanding. They sat off the plate and he takes it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Again, he goes outside and misses. 2-2. Again, he puts a bit of cut on a fastball and misses up and out, so full count. 2 out. Child still on first. Not doing anything silly. Not the time to do it. They've got to value their base runners, and he strikes. Owens out. So great job there again by McGarry. Set him up and blasted him out. And the Tigers lead this game 4-0. We'll move to the bottom of the 4th. See you back here in a moment.
SA Power Networks employs more than 2,000 South Australians and delivers electricity to around 840,000 customers. We don't make electricity, and we don't sell it either. What we do is deliver electricity to your home. From the Rundle Lantern to our airport, hospitals, schools and traffic lights, power is vital to the function of our state. That's why our team is on call 24/7, rain, hail or shine, to respond to any emergency. Plus, we're taking the initiative to ensure that everyone can access information about their power supply however and wherever they like. We also foster vital connections through more than a dozen community sponsorships. At SA Power Networks, we're working with you to deliver the power you need, now and in the future.
So Andy Qualman will lead the bottom of the 4th off. Number 9 hitter. Feast or famine with Andrew Qualman. He'll hit you 100 miles, or he's trying to work his way into the game and he bunts one back to Tolles. Easy out, first pitch. But like your thought process, keep the pressure on, especially Vinny. Struck out at his last at-bat and tucked it under his arm and went back like a bit of a lost dog, but thought he'll keep some pressure on him, but he couldn't get it in the right spot. Back to the top, Wes Roma. Oh, beautiful swing. Pitch right down the chute. Roma put a beautiful swing on it and fouled it straight back. Was right on it. 0-1. Tolles Comes hard up and in. Gets him off the plate. Wes is a pretty game character. He likes to compete, and he's digging in and he's sitting on the plate. He tries to bunt his way on, but foul ball. Interesting stuff. So now 1 ball, 2 strikes. Breaking pitch. There's his big buster. Just froze Romer. He was a bit stiff the first time, but not stiff that time. Just a brilliant breaking pitch. And there's Tiles really letting rip. And similar spot again, just painting some black outside. And wowee. Big pitch. Got him looking twice. And both pitches that were pitches. Fires in with a couple of fastballs on Zersh and gets him down. And good job by Wienert going out and having a chat, because getting a quality hitter like Romer, and Zersh is a pound for pound a really good solid hitter, but you'd certainly be thinking you're more of a chance. But not if you're throwing balls. 2-0. Sure, Weenie was just trying to say it's okay, kid, settle, throw me some good strikes, and he misses down again. 3-0. So Zersh just doing the quality job of a number 2 hitter, just hanging around and making him throw strikes. He knows he's under the stick a little bit, and three and 1. He works his way to first base, but no go, Joe. Back you come. Tried to bleed one out of Rev, but he'd been around a bit longer than you, Dale. Full count. Another good swing on a full count by Zersh. So all the Tigers hitters right at the moment are really seeing the ball well and quite confident. Full count. Certainly not looking like they're absolutely stitched, and that was down and out, and Zersh knew it out the hand. He picks his second walk. Again, becomes a valuable base runner. So LeBlanc, who started the base up with the double, and that ball gets through Wienert's legs, and Zersh jogs to second. That's a tough pitch to handle, and takes real fast twitch muscles to adjust to that one and get down quick and block that hole. It just shot its way through his bottom off his mitt and through his legs. 1-0. Tries to break one in and misses. So not often you see Josh throw so many balls, and certainly so many pitches that aren't being swung at. He relies on you swinging at pitches. And there it is, that big sidearm breaker, but misses with that. 3-0. Interesting moment here. See a bit of the mindset of the Tigers as to whether LeBlanc, who's been in red hot form, gets a green light on a 3-0 count. He takes 3-1. Tolls again, and he misses up and out. So probably a semi-intentional walk there. At a base free. No need to feed a good hitter. He follows the rule book and puts him on. Gives him a forced play. 2 out. 2 walks in a row for Josh Tolls. Three for the night thus far. Plenty of ground balls from him. Couple of strikeouts. Been a mixed bag for Josh tonight. Currently the man in the hot seat. Again, Zersh with a good lead, and knowing that a couple have got through Wienert tonight. Be very aggressive on base. He flies one. Right field, Bishop, Lodge trying to get after it, but goes into dead ball territory. 1-1. As I said before, Bishop was a young signing out of New Zealand. Big, strong catcher. Bit of Maori pedigree. He's a big, strong lad. The rigours and demands of minor league baseball catch up with a fair few guys. It's a big spitting machine, that one. Got to be pretty good, and again he woofs into that, but foul ball. Right field line again. A terrific facility here. There's a big shed down that right field line, which is a big indoor training facility. Can certainly get an infield in there. Plenty of cages. Nice soft AstroTurf in there. It's pretty special. And there's another chop ball foul. One, two. So it's in a joint facility for baseball, softball. Softball grand final tomorrow night. Be played right here, just to the left of us. Sturt Falcons, he gets a foul tip and flicks off the glove, foul ball. Sturt Falcons will take on West Torrens. It's another backup of last year's final. And one of the best pitchers to ever come to this country, in Monica Perry, will be doing her stuff again for the Sturt Falcons. Tolls misses up and out, and Wienert shapes to first, but no cover for him. LeBlanc getting a big lead. Bishop looks in a dangerous mood. Tolls to the plate again, and he misses down and out. Full count. Runners on first and second, 2 out, bottom of the fourth. Bay's doing a lot of pressing right at the moment in the first half of this game. Still a long way to go. Boys take off, but Bishop picks a walk. Seeing him big tonight. 3 walks in a row for Josh Tolls. Surely get a visit, and yes it does. Wally Marks, another legend of South Australian baseball, certainly in the coaching ranks, and got a lot of Australian experience down at Woodville, working with a very quality staff. Goes out and has a chat with Josh. And Wienert, with some good camera work, we're right in there amongst it. Not a big talker, Wally. Generally what comes out of the gob is to be listened to. You can see the tops of the, certainly toes, that it's flapping around. It's a very fluky sort of breeze. It's just died right at the moment, probably as sedate as it's been for quite some time. Just an open invitation. Connor O'Gorman. Base is bulging. 2 out. Bottom 4. He misses down. Ball 1. Can't get to ground ball. Turner. Oh, through the legs. Dear me. That scores Zersh. Connor O'Gorman just putting the ball into play. May not have got a glove on it. Got completely jammed. Another run scored. 5th on the board. So still bases loaded. 2 out. Corey Lyon. He swings at a breaking pitch. Strike 1. Really important for Corey to dig deep here. Certainly from the base perspective, need a quality at-bat from him. As hard as it is, especially against a guy with a lot of variety, it's not easy. A big leg kick and an equally big breaking pitch from Tolles, and he swings through. Oh, 2. And 3 pitches, 3 breaking pitches, 3 swings. See you later, Corey Lyon. But the Bays get 1 more on the board. They take a 5-0 lead into the top of the 5th. Hope you're enjoying things. We'll see you back here real soon. So welcome back, everyone. Interesting little statistic right at the moment. 83 pitches for Josh Tolles, 51 to Hayden McGarry at the completion of 4. So in the new rules instigated here in South Australia, which are just absolutely superb. I like them a lot. If you want a pitcher to do a couple of appearances in a series, you got to have him out before 80. So the max they can go is 120. And Tolles is 83, so it looks like he'll spin the distance tonight, and that'll be him for the weekend. McGarry just working beautifully. There's Wienert with the long fly ball foul. Goes into the dark little area. Down left field. Gary again, he takes something off it and Wienert swings straight through it. Another great straight change, Hayden McGarry. Second strikeout, Troy Wienert. As Dan Turner takes first pitch, ball one. Really moving and grooving at the moment, the Tigers, and all behind this lefty in Hayden McGarry. He comes in. Oof. Called strike. There's a pop from Turner again. Pop fly 8, first at bat. Nicholson, O'Gorman sits under that and takes the catch. 2 out. So Benny Lodge broke the no-hitter at his first at bat. Only hit for the night against McGarry. Only 1 walk. 3-4 punch outs. Just going beautifully for him right at the moment. He wields one over. Strike 1. Lodge hit one hard to centre right at his first AB. Swings over the top of that one. 0-2. Be a good contest. As McGarry goes to the plate again and he misses out. Ball 1. Again, goes right side. Going to be some PFP. Lawson to McGarry. Side away on the Senators, and the Bays continue their lead, 5-0. We move to the bottom of the 5th. We'll see you back here in a moment.
SA Power Networks employs more than 2,000 South Australians and delivers electricity to around 840,000 customers. We don't make electricity, and we don't sell it either. What we do is deliver electricity to your home. From the Rundle Lantern to our airport, hospitals, schools and traffic lights, power is vital to the function of our state. That's why our team is on call 24/7, rain, hail or shine, to respond to any emergency. Plus, we're taking the initiative to ensure that everyone can access information about their power supply however and wherever they like. We also foster vital connections through more than a dozen community sponsorships. At SA Power Networks, we're working with you to deliver the power you need, now and in the future.
So welcome back. Craig Handy takes strike 1, bottom 5. Tigers 5 zip up. Quite extraordinary. Thought it'd be a pretty tight little contest, Tolles versus McGarry. The Tigers came out with intent. And they continue to put some quality at-bats on and just build their innings. 1 in the first, 3 in the third, 1 in the fourth. Tolles just can't quite find it right at the moment. Very experienced campaigner, but as we said, he's going to go over the threshold tonight and he's going to go the distance. He comes in and he misses there. 3 and 1. Just some beautiful vision here. Great ballpark, and he misses down again, and he's just in walk mode right at the moment, Josh Tolles. He just can't quite find his mojo. Sprinkle some strikeouts. Last 7 hitters to come to the plate. 4 walks, 2 strikeouts, and an error. But we know that Josh Tolles has made it the right stuff. And he's not going to quit. He's going to keep rolling and hope his team can find some runs. He gets one over. 0-1. Again, he sets and he goes to the plate, and Lawson swings through. 0-2. Beautiful breaking pitch. Lawson thought it'd break back into him, but it kept on going. 0-2. Comes in. Lawson looks at it. 3-pitch strikeout. Jay Tolles. So Andy Qualman ground out third base and tried to bunt his way on and just pushed it back to Tolles. Looking to get on board with his team here. Breaking pitch. Strike 1. So quite a nice night. It's been a very cold day here in Adelaide. Gets a fast ball out and he swings through. 0-2. Been going through some really hot, humid weather. And all of a sudden snapped today down to 20, and it's been a bit fresh. Tiny little wind change here. Going from like a southwesterly to more southeasterly. It's Tolles again, breaking pitch, and Wienert tries to give him a bit of a hand that time, but bounces off of him. Handy swipes 2. And again, you'd sort of suggest that with the wind behind you, it'd be quite an assistance, but he's played some games with Josh Tolles tonight. Fastball, and Qualman swings through, strikes out, 2 out. So it's been the only real good part for Josh Tolles, the 8-9 hitters tonight. He stitched them up. 3 strikeouts, 3 ground balls. And Wes Roma. Roma takes in 1 ball. So another opportunity here for the Bays with 2 out. Back to the top of the lineup. Caps medalist, only appointed or announced last night. A couple of K colds for him and a 4-3, so not a night he's really enjoying at the minute, but Tolles has been on the end of a couple of good calls. Roma's looked at him. With a runner on second, bottom 5, his team leading by 5. Wouldn't be worrying him too much right at the moment. As Tolles goes to the plate, fastball, and he gets him again, swinging through. .30 count. Roma given the green light, and he swung through a fastball. He's still got a good hitter's count here, and called strike. Again, tries to talk him into it, but no chance. Full count. The Tigers have scored in 3 of the 4 digs thus far. Get another chance here. 2 out. Tolles. Beautiful swing of the bat. West Roma. Foul ball. Count remains full. Runner in scoring. 2 out. Tolles, breaking pitch, chopper up the middle. Turner's going to have to come get, and it gets under his glove again. So a boy that hardly makes a blue at shortstop has had the whole gamut of plays tonight, and it ain't going his way. And another run for the Bays on a chopper, routine ground ball. Tough play, mind you. When you have to come and get the ball, takes a great deal of skill, and that one just stayed down, and Daniels just not having a night. E6, run scored, 6-0. Wowee. Tolles misses outside. Zersh has been very disciplined in the batter's box, picked up a couple of walks. Even his first AB went deep in the count and knocked one to second base. And doesn't matter how good you are, we're talking about a high quality pitcher out there in Josh Tolles, and he's battling right at the minute, and seems to be no support for him. Or Harrison's up in the bullpen for the Senators. He gets one across, 2-1. I know it'd be very tempting to try to keep Josh going and max him out, but right at the minute he's battling. Kicks the hill. Digs his way back in. 3-1 count. Goes across to first, and nice move off the back of the plate. Not too many imports that come to this country that are two-way guys like West Roma. Can't run, so he knows he's a threat, and they're going to try to squeeze him. Zersh takes that pitch, full count. It's a really big pitch in the context of things here for Tolles. Full count, 2 out, bottom 5. Being squeezed hard, and he misses down, so another walk. 3rd in a row for Dale Zersh. He keeps the ball rolling, more importantly for the Tigers, and brings up number 3 hitter Evan LeBlanc. Double centre left. Pop fly 9 and a walk. This is a bit of a run down to the bullpen. I'd suggest that the Senators realise that it's just about D-Day for Tolles, and he comes inside and he can't make that pitch. Ball 1. He knows he's got a quality hitter in the box here in LeBlanc. Runners on first and second. He is going to have to really dig deep and find something special here. He sets. Goes to the plate. Misses down. 2-0. Harrison's red hot. Be suggesting anything bar an out here for Tolles will just about be his demise. As LeBlanc settles. Gets one up. 3-0. Goes for a big walk. A very sound-minded young man. Doing the toughest job in baseball, trying to pitch his way out of trouble when he goes to the plate and he gets one across. 3 balls, 1 strike. 2 out, bottom 5. Runners first and second. Little spaghetti. Jumps back on. From the set to the plate. Misses up. Another walk. And this will be an interesting moment. So loaded bases, 2 out. The old adage, never more than right now. You can never take a pitcher out too early, only too late. Wally Marks is having a good look at the bullpen. You'd think Harrison is red hot. He's been in there for a while. They're going to leave him out there. So what an interesting little line about the last 10 hitters. 6 walks, 3 strikeouts. And he misses up again, 1-0. So they rolled the dice here, Woodville. This could be do or die for them right here. Base hit, and it's going to clean up, and he fires one, but straight to Lodge, right field. That'll be taken. So Tolles gets out of it. Might be a good night for him. The Bays put another one on the board and take a 6-0 lead into the top of the 6th. We'll take a short break again. We'll see you soon. He's cooked. He is cooked.
We might not be the biggest, but in the things that really matter, we're bigger than most. Because bigger means helping a business get off the ground, or giving a young person a go. It's supporting a community and all the people in it. It's helping a family set up a home. We're bigger in cities and small towns, and at making big dreams come true. We could just care about money, and we could treat banking as nothing more than numbers and interest rates. but we're bigger than that. Bendigo Bank. Bigger than a bank.
So, welcome back again. Good to see James Henty striking out, and McGarry doing a big job. And misses down. So things just falling right into place for the Bay Machine right at the minute. Even this line-up right here, right now, when they need something, and he's flying that right field, but that's gone foul and will bounce. One and one. Just pulling off the pitch and shooting at right field. Wes Roma's got a big job to do tomorrow. He'll be taking the mound for the Tigers, so no diving in hard ground for him and possible injury, especially when you're 6-0 up. Suggests that if they can hold themselves together and just play some routine ball from here, it's game one in the bag for them. And Nicholson swings through. 1-2. Carey feeding the outside part of the plate. Foul ball. And misses out. 2-2. Kent goes outside and fills it up. Seems like he's been just able to do this, just get to these sorts of counts. He was well ahead and gets him back to a full count. He's just at this stage always been able to throw the pitch he's wanted, and good swing of the bat there by Nicholson. Foul ball. Came right back in over the plate and he was ready, set. Full count. Misses up. Nicholson gets on board. Important base runner. So one out. Brings the top of the lineup back up. Wilson Lee. 1-0. There's Lee, foul ball. Right to the training facility. And yeah, that wind has just swung around a little. Gary, not phased at all, just doing what he's doing, and he gets it across. One ball, two strikes. There's a chopper. Zersh, just a class act. One of the best infielders in this state for perhaps the past 10 to 15 years. Just got beautiful hands, normally plays shortstop. Moved across to third base, just in team balance. And he is a very, very casual customer, but one hell of an infielder. About 5:45 for you tomorrow night, Mark Chandler, who will join me and give us a bit of a hand. Thank goodness, says everyone. Might have Davo in to have a bit of a chat with us a little later. Pitch is down. 1-0. So McGarry's just had all the answers. Not overpowering. Lyon comes in behind Nicholson. So 1-0 count. McGarry again. Goes to the dish. Gets it across. So pitches a normal guy like Dylan Child would be all over taking tonight. So the situation's just sort of got there. He just all being a little bit cautious. Again, he has to check and gets an inside pitch. Ball two. You can see from the shot that how much work McGarry's done on his lower body with his bum and thighs. Put on a lot of good muscle right there, and that's where it all comes from for a pitcher. Foul ball. 2-2. So Glenelg 6. Senators yet to score right at the moment. Bottom 6. Sorry, top 6. And Hayden McGarry again, looking like he'll go very deep into this game and preserve some arms for the Tigers. Set up just outside, beautifully located. Great play, Connor O'Gorman. Beautiful stuff. Tigers rocking and rolling right at the moment. Hayden McGarry got all the answers. So the Tigers will take that 6-run lead. They'll look to come out swinging and get some more runs. We'll see you back here real soon.
SA Power Networks employs more than 2,000 South Australians and delivers electricity to around 840,000 customers. We don't make electricity, and we don't sell it either. What we do is deliver electricity to your home. From the Rundle Lantern, to our airport, hospitals, schools and traffic lights. Power is vital to the function of our state. That's why our team is on call 24/7, rain, hail or shine, to respond to any emergency. Plus, we're taking the initiative to ensure that everyone can access information about their power supply however and wherever they like. We also foster vital connections through more than a dozen community sponsorships. At SA Power Networks, we're working with you to deliver the power you need, now and in the future.
So welcome back, everyone. As suspected, Troy Harrison has replaced Josh Tolles. He's had a big long night at the office. Old Josh Tolles ain't gone his way tonight. And check swing. Connor O'Gorman. Oh, called strike. Wow. Oh, 0-1. Gorman gets jammed in and flies one right field. Benny Lodge gleefully accepts. Fly 9. And I am sure everyone is thinking, hey, just give us another voice, just somebody apart from poor old Spurlow. He's battling his way through, and we got the head honcho of Baseball SA here in the Adelaide Bite in Nathan Davison. He wears a couple of caps and basically, well, could be called, you know, the god of baseball in South Australia here. There's Corey Lyon swinging and misses on an inside breaking pitch. So welcome, Davo. Sorry, no headphones or anything. You're just going to have to sort of listen to me and respond.
Fantastic to be here, Spell.
And how good does the field look, mate? You'd have to be as proud as punch as that ball's flowing out. Pop fly centre field. Gary Owen takes the catch. Good to see the Senators crowd out here still rooting along, because not exactly going the Senators' way right at the minute.
Well, I know you are a little enclosed in here, Spell, and doing a fantastic job, mind you. It's Vin Scully-esque, doing it all on your own.
Thank you, Nathan.
But there is quite a vibe out there. It's fantastic. I just walked around to both sides of the field and just, you know, having a little bit of a peruse of what's going on. And there's a lot of attention to what's going on. People are watching closely, and there's plenty of voice. It's vocal out there, there's no question. It's probably about 800 or 900 people here.
Yeah, well, I always embellish, so I would have gone for 1,200 or something, Nath. I always like to, you know me, sugarcoat.
Well, there's always room to improve, Phil, and I agree with you, mate. We spoke earlier about it, and the field does look fantastic. It's 6 months old, effectively, which is young.
Yeah,
and,
super.
It continues to get better. It's had a lot of attention to it the last couple of days. In particular, Adelaide Shores have been fantastic, as well as the guys that we've put out there. And
Handy gets one off the handle and shoots it out to left field, but a much needed dig there for the Senators to sort of drive through this bottom of the 6th and not get any score on the board. And Troy Harrison comes out and he gets the job done. So we'll keep on chatting to Nath here, and we'll, whilst we are, because again, with some of the shots right here, just looks absolutely spectacular, like a real diamond. Nothing like that little brick wall behind the plate, and home run fence looks sensational. Got the signs up of all sorts of things out there. It just looks absolutely spectacular, Nath. So again, I know this is a combined thing here with softball, and you're both sort of working hard with the committee to try to make this facility as best it can, and just looks absolutely sensational. And there's the boys out there right at the moment raking things in between digs. You'd have to be proud as punch, mate.
Absolutely, for sure. And it doesn't happen for no reason. There's a lot of time and effort and planning that goes into it. And you guys are doing a fantastic job. This looks as good as, compared to where you guys started.
Yeah,
6 or
absolutely.
7 years ago. And it's just fantastic. It's been a great quality of game so far. I'm interested in the people that are watching. I know that I'm getting a lot of feedback, even as I sit here, about some people that are watching this ball game. And that's what we do it for.
Yeah.
The guys that are here are seeing it. So,
Yeah.
some that I'd rate higher than others, but there's some fantastic people out there. Matty Davis, former Glenelg player. He's up in Queensland now. He's been texting us all night, really interested. He's out there watching. And I'm sure John Loy, who I think he played about one A-grade game, but
Don't be harsh on Johnny.
he's out there as well.
Hey,
And
it's the professionalism of
former
the boy.
Caps medalist Cole Alexander, I'm sure right now, is telling Greg Walk that he should get on board the Tiger bandwagon because they lead 6-0 through 1, 2, 3,
Yeah, to
4,
top
5,
7.
6 innings. So they're certainly up and about the Tigers. And as I said, there's a bit of a vibe out there, and it's a lot of positivity, even body language you can tell out there that they're certainly leading this game.
Yeah, and I'm sort of also intrigued with you because obviously, a scout as well, so you wear many caps, and I've been sort of banging on a little bit about Hayden McGarry, and I, right from early in the season, and I know that, Hayden's been a boy that's needed to mature a little bit, but a 10-0 record, and he's gone into the finals throwing game 1 for 2 wins, and here he is, just really, if you looked on a matchup Toles versus McGarry, you'd have, nearly your house on Josh Toles with nothing against Hayden McGarry, but it's been completely a flip side. I mean, we completed 4 innings. Josh Toles had thrown 83 pitches and Hayden McGarry had thrown 51, so he's nearly on here to nearly throw a complete game and look if he can, hold the arms for the Bays. Just another wonderful effort by him, and is he on the radar at all for a little sniff at ABL?
There's no question that's encouraging. Well hit ball again. Might as well throw high change-ups all night tonight. They're going to pop out all night. So,
Yeah.
a 1-0 slider to their guy in their 3-hole, who's their best hitter, is a true indication of a man that's in charge of what he's doing at the minute. And he's definitely on the radar. And I was only speaking with Landon Hernandez earlier about it, how encouraging it is of the new crop of people and enthusiasm that comes with having a pathway to some sort of professional competition like we have now with the Australian Baseball League. So kids like McGarry can mature as they turn 22 or 3 years old, or however old he may be now, and be given that opportunity. And we look at Chris Horn last year through 12 or so innings for us, and he's a good young right-handed arm. There's another kid on Woodville called
Geordie Gross.
Geordie Gross, exactly right.
And there's Zersh again, just a class act, playing third base like he's been there all his life, and just sweet hands, and just sits down and flips it over. All a walk in the park for Dale, doing a wonderful defensive job for the Tigers.
I tell you what, the field has played well too, and it was a blessing
Yeah.
last night,
I'm
the
sure
rain that we had. Would you believe?
You would have loved it because it's just softened things up. I saw when the little tractor or whatever we got, the little tiny little thing that rakes the scun diamond, or the scun part of the diamond, and there's just about where Woodville are at the moment with 2 out, and Wienert trying to bunt his way on and bunting it straight back to the pitcher. All too easy for the Tigers at the moment, and a little bit of a dishevelled bunch, the Senators, but hey, only 1 game in, and we're only 2/3 of the way through, so we've seen plenty of ball games, and they can turn, but right at the minute, Glenelg are just fired up and going along just beautifully. And being obviously an ex-coach of the Tigers for a long, long span there, Nath, you're a lot of sentimentality for you with this group, but you're not a stupid man. You see it as it is, and Glenelg have sort of been very solid. Always just had this maybe little thing, just haven't been able to score some runs when they've needed to, and here they are, 6-0, bottom 7, just about to swing them again, and doing a wonderful job.
A lot has to go right in baseball to win. There's no question about that. And I think we try and confuse ourselves too often with the reasons afterwards. It's very, very simple. If you play good at the right time, then you win.
Yeah.
If you take your opportunities, you win.
Yeah.
So even though, and you're right, Glenelg have presented themselves many, many times over the years to win. And I was only as I was driving down here thinking about it, having been involved with that club for a long time, and I don't hide behind the fact that there's no question that that's the club that I played at and that's who I support, but I'm a baseball fan too. And I like good baseball, and if they lose and Woodville play better, then more power to them. You know, that's how it goes, and that's how it always was. But I think of some of the times when we lost, which you unfortunately tend to remember the losses more than the wins, which shouldn't really happen. But it's a really interesting dynamic about playing well and not playing well, and it's cliched as much as we say it, a game of inches and all those kind of things. But you just got to capitalise on your opportunity when they're presented. It's a simple equation.
Simple as that.
And Glenelg have tonight, and Woodville haven't, and that's one game. And the reason we play 3 games is so that you can lose game 1. Yeah. And I'm not saying it's over, of course, but if they run second tonight, they've still got a chance to win 2 games in the next 2 days. Which, I mean, I love the fact we're playing night baseball. I mean, I think baseball fans in South Australia love night baseball, and they've probably never seen a game with quite so much light on the field as there is tonight.
Well, it's not. I'm glad you said it, Nathan. And I know that those lighting blocks that you got out there are just absolutely fantastic and so state of the art, and you're able to actually tweak their intensity. And I know that the lights have never been absolutely fired up, but this field just looks spectacular right at the moment. And it's an absolute credit. It really is. It is a true field, and we've obviously gone through the little past history of the boys that it's named after, and the dugouts, etc., etc., and obviously so many other guys of Mark Huttons and Tommy Beckers and Paul Mildrens and fellas like that have been on the journey with baseball as well, that have been just proud ambassadors for South Australia. As Harrison misses in and 1-1 count on Chris Lawson. And you'd know a lot about Smokey too, and the journey of him as a senior coach to try to be a playing coach, and he's doing a pretty reasonable sort of job.
He sure has, and I've watched him pretty close the last couple of weeks, having not been able to get to many games prior to that. And he's a product of the college system, which I think we have changed our attention to how that we go about recruiting people into our pathway. Again, without getting too caught up or cliched on what we do, is that let's get as many of our young kids and players, young men, to college as we can, and give them the opportunity to mature as men, live away, live abroad, get some world experience, come back. And that's what Lawson did. He would openly admit that he was a guy with a reasonable amount of talent, but not enough to go pro. Went to college, studied, came back a full-grown man. Yeah. And now he has an opportunity to coach at this level and impart some knowledge and coach a club. And only talking to Whitey about it the other day from the old Giants days with the guys that have now progressed through to doing what they do, with Dunny now in there and Bennett having won a premiership and Whitey winning a premiership and those kind of different things. So
there's a pop-up foul ball on Qualman. No, you did right. To see the calibre, exactly what you're saying. Tyrone Hamley's come back and, as a young man that went to college and was sort of perhaps without him even knowing, being destined to be a coach, just having that sort of mindset and want and willingness. And, he's in charge of West Torrens at the moment, and they've been a club that has been, really sort of building themselves slowly, working with a lot of talent and a lot of kids, and, with fellas around the place at West Torrens, of Mason Pickards, who's on the fringe with the bite and getting some great exposure and experience, and Van der Lindens, and a lot of boys coming through. And I think the more we invest into our local competition in all shape and form, is showing some real signs. And the massive breakthrough with the under-16 state team this year to win the national championship, just a wonderful effort by them. And again, all a little bit of a product from the junior league and the little league, which have been such a massive focus in Australia over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And all of a sudden that's showing some signs and seem to have really bolstered our junior ranks. It's been just a fantastic thing.
All that added up, Spell, we're in a good space, mate. And it's great just to get... Oh, there's the shortstop with another play. He's had a shocker. But done a good job there.
Goes to show, doesn't it? Because, Daniel Turner, I've sort of watched as a 15-year-old boy, and just such a quality player. But you know what? We sort of said before the game, they don't get to play here a lot. We've been really fantastic this year to introduce Diamond Sport Park to Shane Bennett Field to the local league. So we've been playing a lot of games, a lot of midweek games here under lights, trying to give them exposure and a little bit of understanding of what a Scunn field plays like. And you're right. I mean, every ball sat down tonight, and Daniel's just had the whole gamut of plays as a shortstop tonight, and even as a quality player. He's made a couple of blues, but he'll be back.
I'm excited by the chance, Spell. This is year one of what we hope to be many, many more. And as you, hopefully, we sit in this position where we're sitting right now, and we'll see the expansion of what goes on. Some bleachers, some stands, some extra seating. Possible international academies, all those kind of different things that can happen down here when you've got your own purpose-built facility, indoor training centre. All the things you just spoke about are exactly what it's exciting about to be involved with baseball. And I don't know if you were there Wednesday night. I'm not sure I bumped into her, but the theme was positivity.
Mm.
We should be positive about what we've got now.
Yeah.
Now, it's really easy to be negative. And a lot of people can be, but we've got to be positive. This is a fantastic experience.
Right.
These guys are having a great time.
They are. Flies that ball out to right field, so that retires the Bays, and we complete 7. So Glenelg again still hanging in there, doing it nicely. 6-0. We'll keep on rolling because we won't have Nathan for a long time. He's got a few responsibilities, and it's been a really just a nice little steady progress, and just to see the flow of young talent that we've got coming through in here at the moment, right down to 11 and 12-year-olds is extremely promising, and probably as importantly is the quality of coaches that are down there at the moment with your Paul Mildrens and Tommy Beckers and Scott Pratts, your 80 still, working hard over the northern side. But just to see the investment of a lot of guys that have been high-quality performers here in South Australia to come through now with their children, some not, but just just such a good bunch of junior coaches.
That list is much longer than you just said, Spell, and without going through them all with your good self in there, of course, as well, and Burke Weber and Paparella and what have you, that it's the next generation of coaches coming through, and it's not for no reason either. We made a real concerted effort to say we need to pay some attention to that age level. And we've got some fantastic. Now, some of it coincides with the kids being there, but there's attention paid there, and we need to continue to do that. And our attention to detail needs to stay strong.
Yeah,
we need to make sure that these kids get better, get given the opportunity to be able to excel when they get to this age group, because this is young men out here. It's a 20-year-old at shortstop, a 21-year-old at second base. We mix in with some veterans with Handy and Lawson and Zersh and those kind of guys. But in the end, LeBlanc's 25, those kind of things. Romer's 27. It's a young man's game, and it's so exciting to see, and it's a fantastic environment to be in. Another shout out, Adam Thompson.
Mate, Tomo. Jeez, you're
3 kids under 5 watching the stream. Cannot be more thankful for what's going on in this room.
Oh, they'd all be sitting there very, very politely and very neatly with their legs crossed, and Adam, perhaps he's, with just such a wonderfully educated father like Tomo. So a good shout out to him. No, it's extremely exciting at the moment. Really exciting in this state with so much going on, and again, no fluke, because you've put a really good group together at Baseball SA and got some really dedicated guys in Scotty and Matty Williams, Landon Hernandez coming here and running a Bite Academy and being super dedicated towards it. And as Lodge flies that ball right field, looks like that will go foul, and it does. And Lodgy, we've been talking about young men, and I highlight Corey and Ben, on having some really tough years in the ABL, and just to sort of show that the quality of the competition, and even a couple of boys that are just absolute purebred baseballers, but having a really tough old year and needing mentally to come to grips with it, and just hoping that they might come out the other end and be better baseballers for us, as he fights that one off his fists and pushes it out to right field, picks up a base hit. Any which way you can, Benny. That's how he does things.
Beautiful thing about baseball there, Spell. A couple of hits that You know, one off the fist to right, and then another one through the squeaker through the gaps, and all of a sudden with a 6-0 lead, your brain starts playing tricks on you, and I'm sure the pen's active. Yeah, I'm sure it's active. So McGeary would be getting that sort of close to his limit, I'd suggest, and with a really sound pen, I'd imagine there'd be guys like Moselle, Day, and Williams starting to get a little bit loose.
Yeah, I was just wondering sort of how, you know, how hungry they might be for this one. Obviously, a 6-0 lead is a very handy lead, and as you said, they, you know, wonderful to see a guy like Greg Moselle sort of work so well for the Tigers last week and come in late in games and work his way through things and do a fantastic job. So, and it looks like it might be him up in the pen right at the minute.
I thought it was him walking down there, so...
Yeah.
Oh, no, it is him. Yeah, you're right. And, I mean, great history with the Glenelg Baseball Club, the Moselle family. Dave Moselle, his grandfather's a life member, so there's a reason that Greg's come back after a year or two at Woodville and then 4 or 5 years in college. So, I mean, the more I can tell that story, the more we're going to be successful. And we've put, you know, strategic plans, direction in place to say, let's get 8 or 10 young men in college graduating every year. That means there has to be some going through that system. So, and we've got them. We've got the kids out here. We've got, you know, Charlie Ashcroft and those young fellas that can, and there's plenty of colleges over there that are going to take them. So let's give them that chance to do it. So, exciting time spell, but let's focus a little more on this game. Grand final, SABL, first year at Diamond Sports. Fantastic to see him down here.
It sure is. And as you said, we'll stick with the game, but I just need to also talk about the umpiring as well, because we're sort of also progressing in that, and with a you know, a fellow we know very well, and Ian Revel, but to come into the ABL this year, did an absolutely outstanding job, and here he is chiefing the first game of this 3-game series. But to see, you know, a young fellow like Payne Soudis out there cutting his teeth, and obviously still with some quality in Blake Halligan, and to see Hainsey, an ex-player, come in. That's a grounder from Abbott who's come into the game. He's pinch hitting for Henty, and he pushes his runners around. He does a job for him, shoves them to second and third with 1 out. So a real opportunity here for the Senators to make their first statement on the game, and perhaps there's going to be a little bit of a chat. So Lawson's going to go out and have a natter with McGarry. You reckon that's him done? But yeah, you know, so the whole baseball scene doesn't revolve around the men in blue either, and you'd have to be pleased with sort of a little bit of progress, and Hayden McGarry is being taken out of the game. He's done an absolutely wonderful job. Again, no runs off of him. It's just been absolutely outstanding from Hayden McGarry. I mean, it's one thing to pitch in a final series, but something to take that first game, which can either be make or break for your side. He's really set the table with things and been just brilliant to see. So another fine effort by Hayden McGarry. And
no, he's really come on, as you said earlier, Spell, and from a young man that didn't know whether he could hit or pitch, he's turned into a really good pitcher. And had a fantastic year and really set the table for the Tigers. Job's not done. Let's hope Moselle gets in there and performs as he'd like to, but that's the wonder of baseball, mate. And on the umpires, we also understand that umpires, scorers, everything, but we need to keep progressing all parts of what we do, the official doom and all those kind of things. So we've got a couple of coaches over there in spring training who are actually on the plane right now on the way back and have had a fantastic experience. I think the next step is to find an umpire or two that can join those ranks.
Yeah.
And you've got the 2 names you mentioned then are as good a candidates as any.
I think so. I just think, you know, umpires don't necessarily have to be players. If they love the game, they know the rules and they adjudicate it well, you know, or tip your hat to them. But I think, like we're seeing even in other sports, when there's this blend of a guy with some experience on the playing side, just gives him so much, not so much a better feel for the game. I know that that's a contentious statement, but I think Ian's showing some real promise. And sure, it might be another couple of years to keep working his way through the ABL ranks, but, you know, I sort of said it this year, I can really see his name going up in lights and him pushing himself a little bit further. So, it'd just absolutely be wonderful for this state, because we've had some cracker umpires over the years, and back to the old Paul Beggs and guys like that were international standard umpires. Just great stuff. And obviously Neil Poulton still doing a wonderful job as head of umpiring in this state, with guys like Blake Halligan, just trying to sort of give a nice path and a real direction for him, and really fantastic stuff. So back to the game now. Greg Moselle relieves McGarry, Hayden McGarry, in the top of the 8th. We've got 1 out. Runners in scoring on second and third for the Senators. And Troy Nicholson is another great success story for Woodville and the state. And I remember, Troy, that Burke used to provide opportunities for young aspiring coaches to work with sort of the Little League system. And there's a pitch, and he swings it straight onto the face mask of Bishop. Foul ball. And just wonderful to see Troy, be provided an opportunity. I think we talked about career paths, and this league is evolving a little bit as well, and we've sort of seen a lot of teams that have work with a lot of quality types of players, and maybe, just maybe, as that ball's just beautifully located by Moselle and Nicholson hustling up the line, but great job by Moselle. Worked hard in at the hands. Saw there was a little weakness there and got a comebacker, makes an out, 2 out. And to see Hayden McGarry get a start, to see a Greg Moselle come out and relieve him, I just really get off on things like that, because I'm a believer in it, and I think the only way they're going to get better is by being provided some experience. And it's just a fantastic thing. We'll see West Roma take the ball tomorrow. We'll see a young fella, Jackson Lodge, that been another product of South Australia. And, one reason or another, he just hasn't really turned his mind to the ABL, but it's not saying he couldn't have done it, because I'm sure he could have. So, again, just terrific stuff. So a good moment here. Back to the lead-off, Wilson Lee, who's been on fire in the finals thus far, and they need to see a long ball hit an alley and go deep and score a couple and really get themselves back into this one, because as you said, it's all a little bit about belief, and the Senators need some right here, right now. 2 out, top 8. Yeah, and more about the location of the pitch. It's not wild pitches inside, really trying to find that inside part of the plate. He knows that Wilson is a nice free swinger and needs a bit of extension and length, and he's given him nothing. And with a free base, it's a pretty smart move. He goes straight down the shooter. 3-1. So a little bit of not so much downtime for you, Nathan, but a bit of time to reflect and think and just enjoy the final series, and maybe a little month off for you, and then back right into it again, hey? And that pitch is in and called strike, full count.
Yeah, definitely turned our attention to making this event here work, the grand final. We're going to host the Junior League Championships in May, so we've got quite a bit to prepare for that down here as well. And then we've got to turn this facility into a revenue-making
There's a
facility.
chopper up the middle by Lee. It's good enough, and it will score too. So it happens in all shapes and forms in this incredible game. And a little chopper with eyes up the middle, and Corey had to make some ground to it, and it tips off his glove. 2 runs scored for the Senators. No sweat. And we'll say goodbye to Nathan and thank him so much for coming up and sharing his thoughts and his knowledge with the South Australian public. So thank you, Dave.
Be back tomorrow, Spell.
Good stuff, mate.
Finish her off.
Thank you. So we've got a 6-2 ball game now. Top 8. And right at the heart of the Woodville lineup right here. And as we know, it's all right to get to this stage of the game and hold a lead, but sometimes it's a big deal hanging on to it. A big shout out to one of our favourite sons here at the 10th inning in Brodie Wyatt, who's all the way in London. Eldest son of our magical man here in Peter and his beautiful wife Steph and brother of Jake. So hope is all going well for you and Katie in old London Town Broads whenever you get up and able to watch this game. Actually, this is for you. Breaking pitch down. 2-1. Soon as Woodville made it last week, they rang the Wyatt family and said, can we get his playing top? We want to have it on the bench with us. He's very much a part of this group and we're thinking of him. 6-2 ball game. Tigers way. Top of the 8th. 3-1 count. Solid hitter in Child at the plate. He comes in again and Moselle just keeps banging that inside part of the plate. Full count. It's again Moselle. Runners off. That's down. Picks a walk. Good AB. Dylan Child. So Vinny Fayard, absolutely quality import for the Senators, and they're asking of him right now. They need something. This is the moment. Get a really big curly number up on the board as Moselle misses in. Ball 1. In the first ever game here at Diamond Sport Park. I think Vinny was one of 3 men to send one sailing over the fence on a night which was very tame, which is most unusual for this park. It's not a home run field, just its location. You're generally hitting into a sea breeze. It's tough going, but no tougher than being on the hill right at the moment. Greg Moselle. Big moment. Goes to the plate. Comes in again and misses. Fayard. 3-0 the count. Moselle and he misses in, so he fills them up. Brings Gary Owens. Talked about Gary. Had an absolutely sensational year. He was right up there in the high 30s. I think he had 8 jacks, 37 RBIs, just off the cuff. I'm sorry if I'm not entirely correct, but there'll be a visit here by Chris Lawson. This is a moment, certainly for both teams. It looks like Matty Williams will be seconded to do the job here for the Tigers. So Moselle in a good job and with some really nice attitude. Gave a big point to Matty and said, get it done. So we might just take a short break. We've got about a minute on our hands before we be back to some live action. We'll take a break. We'll see you in a sec.
SA Power Networks employs more than 2,000 South Australians and delivers electricity to around 840,000 customers. We don't make electricity, and we don't sell it either. What we do is deliver electricity to your home. From the Rundle Lantern to our airport, hospitals, schools and traffic lights, power is vital to the function of our state. That's why our team is on call 24/7, rain, hail or shine, to respond to any emergency. Plus, we're taking the initiative to ensure that everyone can access information about their power supply however and wherever they like. We also foster vital connections through more than a dozen community sponsorships. At SA Power Networks, we're working with you to deliver the power you need, now and in the future.
So welcome back, everyone. And we have a moment on our hands right here. Loaded bases, top of the 8th. Senators already a couple on the board, and it looks like that beard is coming back. He had it shaved off for charity, but the Wolfman ain't the Wolfman without his big ginger beard. And he's got a job to do right here. And he sends a couple over the plate immediately. Gets ahead 0-2. Matty Williams. Gary Owens with an 0-2 count. Williams out to the plate. They wanted it outside, but he drifted it back across the middle and swinging foul ball. Sometimes this incredible game comes down to one swing of a bat, and Williams, and they sit outside, good 4 inches off the plate. He smashes the mitt, but called ball. Williams again, they sit out there again and gets a breaking pitch, a chopper up the middle, going to test Lyon. And it's called safe. Gary Owens got some incredible speed. 2 more scored. Some great base running by Dylan Child. Craig Handy was more interested in the call than he was with the runner at the plate. And they stole another one just to back up a gimme. Saw Corey had to try to get rid of the ball, but Owens has got some terrific speed. He's a wonderful athlete, Gary Owens. So still runners first and second. 6-4 the scoreline. Boy, oh boy. Didn't look like it, but Wiener just gets one off the fist and just a meek little flare to second base. But hey, job done for the Senators. They put a big 4 on the board in the top of the 8th. And it is game on here at Diamond Sport Park. Game 1 of this 3-game series, grand final series. Well, we got the Woodville Senators taking on the Tigers. We'll see you back here in a flash.
We might not be the biggest, but in the things that really matter, we're bigger than most. Because bigger means helping a business get off the ground, or giving a young person a go. It's supporting a community and all the people in it. It's helping a family set up a home. We're bigger in cities and small towns, and at making big dreams come true. We could just care about money, and we could treat banking as nothing more than numbers and interest rates. But we're bigger than that. Bendigo Bank, bigger than a bank.
So welcome back, everyone. We have a real game on our hands. Bottom of the 8th. 6-4 the ball game. After the Senators, after a whole bunch of goose eggs up on that scoreboard, put 4 on the board in the top of the 8th. Great to watch the evolution of a big man like Troy Harrison as well, that I think initially sort of came from Pirrie, and I think Goodwood got a hold of him after seeing him in a country carnival, and he could hit a little bit, and they had a home run hitting competition out at Norwood Oval one night, and he won it. He hit 7 or 8, I think, but he's really sort of worked himself to work on the mound, and it's been wonderful to see him just grow and evolve, and I'm sure Wally's had a bit to do with it. He needed to find some breaking pitches, and he has. He can roll a breaker across now, and with a straight change and his fastball, a big heavy throwing unit. Would knock the clock over, but he got a little bit on it. And now he goes out from just in a game where his team's down by 6 and thinking, oh, nice little trundle for me in a final series, but all of a sudden the magnitude of things has grown and really needs to put the Tigers down here, but he's meeting the big part of the lineup. 2, 3, 4. Zersh 0 for 1 tonight. 3 walks. Done a super job in the 2-hole. Just kept getting on. Kept scoring. Would have crossed a couple of times. And Harrison walks him. 4th walk for the night for Dale Zersh. And that's not the start Harrison would have wanted. So Evan LeBlanc, Bo Bishop, Connor O'Gorman, Corey Lyon. That's what's ahead of Harrison. And quality in amongst that little foursome. They've been all very patient tonight. Picked a lot of walks, 5 walks between them. Between the next 3 hitters, so they've tried to be patient for their side and make the pitcher throw strikes. It's extremely important. They got rid of Tolles early, or early for him, and he probably went 1 too many. It's Harrison. Gets his signal, sets, goes to the dish, breaking pitch, and LeBlanc all over it, foul ball. Just a hanging curveball by Harrison. That one might be put in the back pocket for a moment. He's got to throw a fastball strike somewhere. He goes to the plate and throws another breaking pitch, but in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A wonderful assistant producer here, even ahead of the scoreboard, with their knowledge and ability. 1-2 the count. Harrison picks. Again, you would suggest that Dale Zersh won't be going too far, so unless it's for just a little bit of a break in rhythm. As Harrison again sets and goes to the plate, fastball and flowing foul down the right field line. And all of a sudden, the crowd has come alive. A little bit of tension down the right field line with the Bay supporters, and a little bit of anxiety relieved for the Senators, but still quite tepid. They're just not sure. And there's one flowing deep and high out to right field. Lodge just rounds it up, takes the catch. Quite deep out there. Nice piece of the ball. Evan LeBlanc. Deep fly 9. 1 out. So Bishop, who's been good tonight, 1 for 3. Kept a 2-out rally going in the first. That's his base hit to left field. Wild throw 5, a walk, fly 9, but just got the feeling he's been seeing it pretty good. And Harrison comes in, gets one across. Strike 1. And again, the big boy sets. Delivers. Misses out. And down. 1-1. So I hope you're enjoying things here. Our great little 10th inning team. Little shortened staff. No tops and tails tonight, but you got some decent vision and a boring old commentator, and that's what you sort of got to deal with tonight. We've got a 6-4 ball game. Tigers leading it. They had a 6-0 lead for most of the night. It's Harrison. Misses up and out. 2-1. So Zersh on first. 1 out. Bishop in the box. Gets a fastball that was up and quite juicy, but Bishop takes. 2-2. Probably the first pitch tonight that was there to jump into that the Tigers haven't. And maybe, just maybe, they're tightening and the Senators are loosening. Harrison. Ooh. Just fires a fastball and bops him on a 2-2 count. Not the pitch he really wanted. As you can see from the replay, just completely got away for him and smacked Bishop right up in the top of the spine. So runners on first and second. 1 out. Too many walks for the Senators tonight to be truly competitive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a hit pitch ball. 9 free runners. Not what wins your finals games generally. Not a huge amount of hits, but a couple at the right time. As Harrison goes, and O'Gorman, like the look of it, foul ball, straight back. One the count. 1 out, bottom 8. There's a ball. Flare variety. Nicholson takes. Has a look at 2. 2 out. And a flare to the infield from Connor O'Gorman. Fly 4. So Corey Lyon, who's been working on his mechanics of hitting and got a big leg kick going at the moment. He cracks one third base, but easily taken there by Fayard. Harrison gets the job done. Just what the Senators need as we'll move to the top of the 9th. And the Bays 3 outs away from securing game 1 of this 3-game series. We'll take a short break. We'll see you in a sec. It's as much about timing as anything in baseball, and the bearded one, Matty Williams, looking to close this one out for the Tigers, and gets it across 1-1. Top 9, Tigers by a couple. Gets an outside pitch and just knocks it to Craig Handy. He gleefully takes it and puts out Turner. PO3. Been a pretty tough night for Daniel, but tomorrow's another day. So Benny Lodge takes a ball. Matty flicks his glove at Rev and says outside and gets a nod. 1-0. That's a good job by Lodge again. He bangs it out to right field, but Wes was right on the spot. Gets it done. 2 out. So that's once again, thank you very much to the beautiful Wilson family, Greg and Jane, mum and dad of Dr. Dan Wilson. Another wonderful product of the SABL. Williams to the plate, and Abbott swings and misses. 0-2. So Williams just dialed in, looking to get it done. And there's a ground ball up the middle. Going to be a tough play to finish it off. Lyon, and can't get it done. So Abbott gets on. He's had a couple of them tonight, Corey, and you got to believe me, he's moved a long way to get all of them. As you can see, he's in his traditional shortstop position, has to sweep through the centre of the diamond. A beautiful take. That little throw just piffs it to the dirt, and Handy wanting it, not able to clutch on. Abbott gets on. Tying run at the plate. Troy Nicholson, number 9 hitter. Williams sets, goes to the plate and gets it across. 0-1. And again, misses low. 1-1. Roma semi-tucked to his right field line. LeBlanc playing traditional straightaway centre field. Williams goes to the plate and he misses down again. 2 balls, 1 strike. And again, Williams sets and delivers. Takes a little bit off and seemed like a pretty similar spot to last pitch. Called strike. 2-2. Game 1. Baseball SA Grand Final, and a swing and a miss from Nicholson. The Tigers get the job done. Just a brilliant performance from them tonight. They came out to play. Very disciplined start from them, especially from their hitters, who just all clutched up and worked hard and just worked Toles over. Got him out of the game in about the 5th or the 6th. And they just did it in little spurts, but they were good enough to put 6 on the board. And behind Hayden McGarry with another quality start, who'll take the win. The Tigers take game 1 in this 3-game series. We will be back tomorrow. I hope you've enjoyed things. It's an earlier start tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. So from Andrew Sperling and the 10th inning team,
we will say good night and we'll see you tomorrow.